while it is a larger startup cost, there's two ways to do this, and we touched on this on Andrews. You can do the editing live, or you can pay the editing to happen post-op. So if you pay someone to do your editing after you do the episode, you're going to pay more per episode. I mean, a cheap editor is like $150 an episode. That's cheap.
Yeah.
You will want to take that money, and while it's more startup cost up front, you're going to want to purchase something like that so that you can do your live edits, and you'll still have some stuff on the back end. I mean, Eli, what is your process when you have the edited format video? Because that basically takes all the cameras, syncs them based on who he's pointing it at, and does it all together on a card. Then afterwards, you add our logo, you eliminate background noise.
Yeah, so it's actually even simpler than that. And to answer your question about the mini, Black Mini, that's going to range anywhere from like 200 to 500, depending on the seller.
What's
a
the
little
big
bit
one?
over?
The big one's
that
800?
That one's close to around 1,200.
Okay.
800 to 1,200. So, I mean, if you could see my screen right now I'm basically editing. You won't be able to. It's the screen here. How I edit is I have OBS, which is basically a streaming free service that you put on a MacBook or a Windows, but that's going to be filming all the cameras and the audio, everything like that. It's going to be recording. I have the logo permanently on 24/7, so it's basically I don't have to add anything.
Okay.
Once I'm done, I'll end it, remux it, make it into an MP4, upload it to Final Cut Pro, take the SD card out of the soundboard, plug it in, upload it to Final Cut, crop the edges, and then like with this episode, there was like a few minutes in between that I'm going to crop out.
Right.
Not every episode has that. Some are pretty good all the way through, and then it's just crop.
I mean, how much time would you say per episode you have to spend?
Well, it depends on how. So, with Brandon Copeland, that we just finished that one took probably like 5 or 6 hours, but I also made 15 videos from that podcast. And
That's the other thing.
It's a lot.
You
Like
will
Instagram
have
and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will. We had to open a second Instagram for just the podcast.
That, yeah.
You will have a never-ending option of content to mirror what you're already doing. And what you're already doing is great. But now you will have a revenue of just new content that you can choose to put on your main page or keep on the podcast page. But regardless, you can now start realistically posting twice a day.
I see.
Without even breaking a sweat.
Yeah.
You'll just have that new stream of content. So it's really, really good.
Yeah, that is very good.
Yeah, and having a second account is wise, just because you don't want your audience to dislike. I mean, obviously they're not going to dislike it, but if it's just over flooding with all of the video content when they want to see you working out everything, you don't want to basically cut your audience in half.
Saturate.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You don't want to oversaturate it.
Makes sense. Totally.